Hello and welcome back to Nelly's TV. You see, in this channel, one of our objectives is to enlighten your senses, to make you to begin to use your senses to do critical thinking so that not everything the politicians garbage out to you out there that you swallow and say, oh, yes, it's good, it's true, because it comes from a leader. So, we're going to be looking at something now, something very important. Mhm. And indeed, it is very important for us to look into this. So, how many of you remember just a few days ago when they told us that President Tinubu of Nigeria has paid off Nigeria's debt to International Monetary Fund? We are going to be looking at it. Look at it right here on the screen. Published on Bloomberg. Nigeria pays off IMF's $3.4 billion COVID loan to exit debt list. That's good news, right? And it was published on May 8th, 2025. So it's very new. And today's date is 28th May 2025. So how many days difference? 20 days difference. Let's read part of the news. It says, Nigeria has paid off $3.4 billion $3.4 billion borrowed from the International Monetary Fund during the COVID-19 pandemic, exiting the list of countries that are in debt to the Washington-based lender. Finance Minister Wale Edun confirmed via text message on Thursday that the loan had been repaid on the agreed terms. The IMF granted Nigeria emergency assistance in April 2020 as the pandemic shuttered businesses around the world and countries closed their borders. Okay, so let's pause here for a while. So Nigeria borrowed from IMF and now they have paid the $3.4 billion which they borrowed, according to them. All right, but what were the terms of this loan and what did they pay off, and is there anything remaining? Remember, they said in this paragraph that they exited the list of countries that are in debt to the Washington-based lender. That's what they told everybody, right? But what they didn't tell you is this. Pay very good attention. The West African nation now has no outstanding IMF debt. Okay, that sounds like good news, right? Okay, so, but look at this sentence. Though the fund expects it to honor some additional payments, so the fund means the IMF, expects it means Nigeria here. So IMF expects Nigeria to honor some additional payments of roughly, how much is there? $30 million a year in special drawing rights charges. Special drawing rights charges. IMF resident representative for Nigeria, Christian Ebeke, said in a separate statement. So just look at it. What is the meaning of this statement? It means that Nigeria is still going to be paying $30 million every year to IMF. So tell me, is Nigeria now free from IMF debt or not? You see, each time these politicians come up to garbage out all this nonsensical news, people just swallow it and begin to dance. I learned that people were rejoicing. People were sharing the news here and there on social media, wherever, where they were rejoicing and praising Bola Tinubu for paying off Nigeria's debt. You are praising him for paying off Nigeria's debt. And so what? What exactly is the achievement that somebody borrowed money and paid back? Is it an achievement? You borrowed money, spent the money didn't make any impact on the ordinary citizens, and after using the money, you paid it, and then you want people to start clapping. Whoever owes should pay. And that's just what you did. So it's not a special achievement. And people who don't have their senses up and running came shouting, jumping, praising him, worshiping him for paying off debt. By the way, what did they actually pay? What Nigeria actually paid, which they didn't tell you, is the principal of the loan. Nigeria simply paid the principal of the loan. The interests accruing from the loan are still pending. They are still pending, and that is what they are going to be paying every month to the tune of 30 million naira, $30 million per year still to IMF. And somebody comes here to tell me that Nigeria is no longer owing. So, men and brethren, we should be doing critical reasoning. When they garbage out news like this, go deeper and find the background implications of the news to know whether it is anything to rejoice about. Because these politicians, when they do things like this and expect you to clap for them, know that they are doing something for their own good, not for your own good. And I'm going to prove it to you very soon. You see, so people clap for them 20 days ago, right? And today, what is happening? Check out this. Boom. Tinubu seeks Senate approval for $21.5 billion dollar loan. That is 758 billion naira bond. All right. So check it out. He paid off $3.4 billion and he wants to borrow how much? $21.5 billion. So, critical reasoning. What do you think happened between 8th of May and 28th of May? I'm going to make it simple for those of us who are still confused. What this guy did was that he knew he needed some money. He knew he needed more money. And of course, this money they borrow, they don't borrow it for the good of the ordinary people, the citizens. No, they borrow this money to continue to maintain their lavish lifestyle. They are buying more private jets, buying yachts, building houses for themselves, establishing businesses outside the country, and stashing some of them in foreign bank accounts, and of course taking care of their families, who of course are not usually living within Nigeria. They live in other countries. So that lavish lifestyle must be maintained, and Nigeria cannot fund it from its own purse. Therefore, what they do is, when they see that they are running down financially, they go out there and borrow more loan and speak out the grammar to tell you what the loan is going to do for you, for the ordinary citizen. It is never for your own good as an ordinary citizen. By the way, ever since they started borrowing the loan, what has it done for us? So this man looked ahead and saw that they needed money to lavish again on themselves, but the money wasn't anywhere to be found. So his handlers advised him, Oga, let's just pay off the principal of this loan we are owing to IMF, and that will give us the right to borrow more. So they had to pay off the $3.4 billion principal of the loan they were owing, and that gave them the right to apply for more loans, And now they are going for 21.5 billion. How can you pay off 3.4 billion and then you are looking for 21.5 billion? I mean, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You pay off loan of 3.4 billion and you are demanding 21.5 billion. That means you are living in fantasy. You are living in illusion. There is actually no strong financial basis in that for that country called Nigeria. They are living on loan, right? So what did he say he was going to use the loan for? As usual, he said that they, okay, let's go a little down. Here, according to the president's letter, the external borrowing plan will finance critical projects in infrastructure, education, health, and water supply, while the 758 billion bond will be used to settle outstanding pension liabilities under the contributory pension scheme. Under the contributory pension scheme, you are borrowing money to pay pension. This pension is contributory. Look at it. That means the worker, when the worker is still in active service, he contributes his pension. So why would federal government be looking for money to pay somebody who contributed his pension? Is it not common sense that after the person retires, you just dip hand in the purse where his money or his contributions have been kept and give him back his pension? They are going to look for loan to pay contributory pension. What does that tell you? Critical reasoning. They have squandered people's pension contribution, and so they are looking for money to replace it so they can try to do one or two payments, and then they will tell you that they have settled the pension liabilities outstanding for some years, and then use it to sing praises on social media and all the mainstream media. You see, these guys are really, they are wicked-minded. They are heartless. This is how they keep throwing people into debt. This money this man is borrowing now, he's not going to pay it until he leaves office. And when it is time to pay it, it will be taxpayers' money, the money that is meant for the well-being, for the welfare, for the commonwealth of the ordinary people, that they will dip hand in and pay this money. But this money is the money they use to live their lavish lifestyle. And to even make matters worse, even when they try to carry out some projects, you see the kind of discriminatory allocation of projects they do in that country. It is on record. During Buhari's tenure, some loans were borrowed as well. But what did they use the loans to do? At some time, they built a railway line from Kano to Niger Republic, another country entirely, telling you that these people are not even Nigerians in the first place. Because why would you be building a railway line to another country when in the first place, not all the regions in your country has received that kind of developmental project? Of course, the entire southeastern part of Nigeria was avoided, completely avoided, excluded from all the projects. No single railway line was run through the southeastern part of Nigeria, but every other zone received attention. Every other zone received some kind of project. In one of the loans they borrowed, they clearly wrote on paper all the projects they were going to carry out in all the regions, carefully and deliberately excluding the southeast again. At least it was on paper. We know that even after writing all those things on paper, they won't execute them. But at least write it on paper. There was nothing for the southeastern part of Nigeria. And what bothers me so much is that the elders of the southeast and the politicians from there are so greedy and selfish. They will see all these things, yet they won't talk. Yet, when people try to free themselves from that contraption, they work against them, they kick against them, just because of what they stand to benefit in the short term. They are very, very greedy. And these are the problem. These are our main problem in that part of the contraption called Nigeria. Because if they had opened their eyes, if they had opened their senses and begin to reason with their senses, we wouldn't be where we are today. We would have gone far in our freedom. So it is now your duty as a youth of the Southeast and South-South to stop allowing these people to brainwash you. Stop allowing them to brainwash you. You need freedom. You don't need Nigeria. You need your own freedom. You need your independence. You need your sovereignty. And that is why the call and the move for Biafra is very, very important. It is as important as your life. Because if you don't do it, Nigeria is there to send you to your early grave. There is no future in that contraption called Nigeria. This is how they keep marginalizing and discriminating the people of that region, the southeast and the southern part of Nigeria. They borrow loan, they carry out projects on other regions, and they exclude this very region. And when the time comes for the repayment of the loan, they will use our commonwealth to pay back the loan. So who is losing? We are losing. We from the southeast and the southern part of Nigeria are losing. And these are the areas that really produce the economic mainstay of that country. Talking about natural resources like oil and gas and some other very rich mineral resources. They come from the southeast and the south. Yet, they are highly, highly marginalized, more especially the southeast. Look at where the Senate president was reading the letter from president on the floor of the Senate. I will show you. Look at that. Okay, so this is the Senate president. The video is not clear, so I'm not going to continue playing it. So that was the Senate president trying to read the letter from the President Bola Tinubu, on the loan they have decided to borrow. And guess what is going to happen? Of course, this Senate and House of Representatives, they are rubber stamps. They are going to approve it. Why? Because it will help to continue to encourage them, to support them to live their lavish lifestyle. It is for them. We all are going to see. They will still exclude the Southeast. The amount meant for recurrent expenditure is going to be higher than the amount meant for capital expenditure. You know what that means? What I mean is the amount of money from this loan that they are going to be using just to run the government is going to be higher than the amount they will allocate for capital projects, for developmental projects. It's always like that in Nigeria's budget. And the second thing I said here is that they are going to exclude the Southeast. Don't forget that in the 2025 budget, it was clear, very, very clear, that no single project was allocated to the Southeast in 2025 budget. I remember that one House of Representative member observed it and complained about it, that the Southeast was deliberately and carefully removed from every project in that country in the 2025 budget. And what did the Speaker of the House of Reps say? He said, just leave it like that. Maybe the executive, in this case the president, the executive will present a supplementary budget, and in that budget they may address the issue of project in the Southeast. So what stopped you people from including the Southeast in the main budget? Is the Southeast not part of Nigeria again? You are saying maybe, which means it is highly under probability. And if he doesn't do that, if he doesn't raise a supplementary budget, or even if he raises a supplementary budget and still excludes the Southeast, so what happens? Of course, nothing. So you that is still sitting down there or jumping about, thinking that you have a country called Nigeria, which is for you, and you are from the Southeast, I mean, you are highly under manipulation, and you need to be pitied, because what you don't know is that you don't have any future in that contraption called Nigeria. They don't see you as part of it. The only hope you have is your own country, and in this very case, Biafra. Your country where you have hope, where you will be regarded and treated as a human being, is not Nigeria, but Biafra. That is what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is pursuing. And if you know what is good for you, it is for you to begin to support the struggle for the actualization of the sovereign state of Biafra. And currently, it is being spearheaded by the Biafran Republic Government in Exile, BRGIE, that is Brigi. That is the government, the current government of the Republic of Biafra as it stands now. So come there and contribute whatever you can to support the government to pursue this secession from Nigeria, so you can have your future, so your children can have future. Because so long as you continue to remain in that country called Nigeria and think that anything will change tomorrow, it will never change. Never. If it was going to change, it would have changed before now. There is nothing that shows that Nigeria is going to get better. So I just said to bring up this thing so that you people can analyze it yourself, read the news, enjoy it, digest it. The certainty there is that Nigeria is about to incur more loan of $21.5 billion. Definitely it is going to approve. Maybe this time around, they will say, oh, okay, because Southeastern people they have made some kind of call, they have made some kind of complaint in the budget. Let's just give them one or two projects. They will write it on paper. But of course, it's not going to be executed, because that part of the country is not regarded as part of the country. Nigeria is not a country. Nigeria is not one. And the Southeasterners are not part of Nigeria. They are Biafrans. And if they know what is good for them, they should start looking for their way of exit. Thank you very much. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please try to subscribe, like the video, and share it to your friends and well-wishers. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in our next video. Bye.